What's up, you guys? This is a reading for all those interested in what's coming up for you in the next 6 months. Like, what needs to be focused on, what needs to be highlighted, what are some interesting things that Spirit wants you to know for the next 6 months. So, we're going to get straight to it. This is going to be pile 1 and this is going to be pile 2. And if you're seeing this, you're absolutely called to. This is a timeless message, and we're just going to rock with it. All right, see you at your reading. Bye. What's up, you guys? If you chose pile 1, welcome to your reading. We are going to just go over a couple of energies. First, we're going to start off with what Spirit has for you, what's coming up in the next 6 months, anything that is profound and needs to be focused on. For my collective, please, Spirit, let's get a general message of what's going to be happening for the pile 1 collective in the next 6 months. What's profound? What energy? What themes? What needs to come up in the next? What is coming up in the next 6 months that my pile 1s should be aware of and focusing on? Okay, wow. Okay, immediately we have the 4 of Wands, and then we have Temperance. Alright, Spirit, anything else? Overall themes for the next 6 months, my collective, the people, Queen of Cups, and on the bottom of the deck we have the Ace of Cups. Okay, so 4 of Swords, Temperance, Queen of Cups. So what does my collective need to be focused on in the next 6 months for pile number 1? It's giving rest, babes. It's giving nourishment. It's giving making sure we're sleeping. We're regulating that nervous system. We are making sure that we are exercising, or the way that we eat, we're nourishing our bodies, right? We might even be focusing on just taking a second to recover from some things. Perhaps this pile has had a really intense 2024. Like, maybe there was just, and when I say intense, it doesn't necessarily need to be bad, but it just sounds like a lot of extremes. It feels like a lot of extremes. It feels like the next 6 months needs to be a place of just kind of restoring and being, also another thing I'm seeing and I'm getting is just being more reserved with your energy. How willing are you to help people? And then also, my loves, are we retired people pleasers? Or are we active people pleasers? You know, like, what are we doing to make sure that we're restoring ourselves with that love? Now, I can interpret this in another way. I can also interpret this of you taking a rest from a connection, you taking a rest from love, you know, external love, or maybe even like some women in your life. Maybe there's women in your life as well that you're just taking a break from. And it just feels like it's a very healing time for you. 2 of these women have their eyes closed and 2 of them have their eyes wide open. So it kind of gives that, like, maybe while you're, you know, you kind of feel like you're sleeping with one eye open. You might be waiting for the shoe to drop, and or at least that's the energy you are in right now as you're watching this video. And I think the lesson here is that the more you trust Spirit, right, the more you surrender and you just trust that things are working out in your favor. And every time, you know, you feel away or frustrated, it could just be a reminder and a nudge from the spirit world to just slow down a second, let the chips fall where they may, and trust that you are, you know, going and are where you are supposed to be. But I also have this really strong feeling about strengthening your intuition. I also feel like this pile has been, the reason they may feel the need to recover or pull back is because their psychic abilities have increased so much. I feel like this pile is very, very, very intuitive, and maybe that's where the extremes are coming from. Maybe you've been able to see people for who they are, see things for who they are, or be more aware of things. And, you know, once you put on those glasses, you can't take them off. And so you see the truth in everything and everyone. And maybe the things that used to provide you comfort are now things that you must release because they might be, you know, hindering you. For instance, you know, when you're riding a bike, you got to let go of the training wheels at some point because you want to go faster. You want to keep up with your friends, right? Or you just want to see how fast you can go. How could you know how fast you're going if you have something, you know, holding you back? And I feel like these things that are holding you back just might be feelings, or coming to terms with the fact and the acceptance of the fact that things are changing and you must change things. So, that being said, let's pull a little bit deeper into your energy. If that resonated, that is more of a general of what's going on with this pile and what's coming up for the next 6 months. Okay, Spirit, so what guidance? Now that we know that they're rejuvenating and trying to take a break, what is the advice? What's the advice here? What other things are coming up, Spirit? Let's see this. Wow, guys. Wow. Okay. So when I asked what the advice was, we got the Four of Swords again. So we got the Four of Swords clarifying the Four of Swords from a different deck, which is pretty interesting. Then we have the Temperance. Again, another major arcana coming here. And then we have the Six of Cups at the bottom of the deck, and clarifying the Queen of Cups. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Five of Pentacles. Okay, so let's talk about it. So the advice from Spirit is absolutely to rest, right? Like, we feel like we might need to rest because we have to. And that's the thing about Spirit, is that when you don't take the rest that you need, or when you don't give those little things to yourself, Spirit's going to find a way to do it for you, right? So definitely take a rest, take a moment. And I feel like the advice here, because remember this, and for anyone who's into tarot, this is the after deck, after tarot deck, excuse me. And I love this deck so much because it tells you what happens, literally after the card. So, you're kind of stuck, fortified in this like restrictive energy, and then here comes this softness bringing you a flower, right? So I feel like there's something going to grow out of your solitude. You're not in hermit mode for no reason. You are not pulling back for no reason. You are absolutely divinely guided to do these things if you are feeling the need to pull back. The advice here is, once you get that wisdom, right? Once you feel the truth and the situations that you're pulling back from, or maybe seeing from a different perspective, it's gonna feel like there is no going back. It's gonna feel like a charge to move forward. And that's exactly what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to feel free. You're supposed to release anything that stops you from feeling free. I am getting a very strong feeling that this could be family, old beliefs, friends, soulmate relationships, karmic relationships. Just stuff that feels very much so karmic. It just feels very karmic. It feels like we've learned lessons and we've been in places where we're being called to grow and move out of. And, sometimes to grow, it might feel a little lonely. It might feel, look at that, 8 at the bottom. At the 8 of Swords, 8 of Swords and the 5 of Pentacles. So the advice is, like, even though you don't know, right? Because look at these cards. Even when you don't know where you're going, or even if you're not sure, you feel out in the cold, there needs to be a level of trust and surrender that things are working out in your favor. And I feel like that's kind of something that we already touched on a little bit in the general, but I feel like the advice here is to find what makes your heart sing and go with it. There's really nothing else that you should be doing. And honestly, you have to just say F it to everyone who doesn't agree with you, to everyone that makes you feel like an outsider in your own, life. Remember, you are the main character, right? This is your story. And if you have anybody around making you feel like you shouldn't be living the story the way that you are, living it, just in terms of just spreading your light or showing up and showing out or just being your bubbly, beautiful self. I'm getting a vision that this pile 1, I just feel like you guys are very bubbly, you're very caring, you're very nurturing, and we just have some boundary issues. We need to figure out where people, belong in our life and where they don't. And then also there's like an anxiousness here, like an anxiousness of like a fear of judgment, a fear of rejection. And so maybe we're overcompensating, but Spirit is telling you over the next 6 months that energy, that behavior needs to be snipped. So also I just want to note that if I'm saying this and this kind of resonates, but you're really not sure, because you kind of feel like you've been in this energy and you've been working towards it, this could just be the past coming up just to remind you. We do have some retrograde planets. So This could definitely just be that retrograde energy of revisiting and going back and just pulling the truth out of it. I'm getting a lot of truth here. It feels like that's what's guiding you. Maybe you guys are air signs. But it feels like a lot of candor and vulnerability and the ability to be self-actualized, that you can truly accept yourself and the circumstances around you. For the next 6 months, I definitely feel like there's a huge level of intuition and growth. There's a huge level of like stability within yourself. And there's just kind of like no nonsense vibe that I'm getting from you guys. So just make sure that as you journey this, you just trust your intuition. Ask yourself, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to go here? Do I really want to answer this call? Do I want to talk to this person? Do I want to eat this? Do I want to put this in my body? Is this going to help me? It's going to give me energy. Is it poor for my body? You know, like, ask yourself these questions, because you will, once you start answering yourself, you're going to stop feeling so pressured to listen to other people or even consider what other people have to say. I really am getting a vibe of like a retired people pleaser. Like, this is someone or a theme that you've been just kind of working through your whole life. I also just heard parentified parent. So parentified child. So perhaps growing up, you never really had space for your own emotions because you were always focusing and trying to help everybody around you, because if everybody around you was good, that meant that you were safe, right? And you kind of just wish that people made that an environment for you. So I say that to say that give this to your inner child. And that's really what I'm picking up a lot with this 6 of Cups here. So just go back into that inner child and love her down, love her up, love him down, love them up, love them down. You know, just really gotta get my girlies in there, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, I just feel that it's an all-encompassing, it's a level up in love, it's a level up in self-love, it's a level up in the external love. I also feel like the more work you put on yourself and just recreating the narrative between you and others, that's when you're going to start seeing the people that attract into your life that give you that, you know, people who nourish you, that love on you, that show up for you in the right ways. And I also feel like that's another omen or something significant for the next 6 months, is that you'll be attracting better love from partners, better love from self, better love from everything and anyone around you, because you simply just vibed out. It's almost like you vibrated at a higher frequency, and so the old stuff is just falling away. As you blink, as you watch this, you're just like, it's just so many things. I'm sure you can recall some things that have fell away in the last 6 months that you probably didn't expect, and basically get ready because it's about to happen again, but it's for the better. I just feel like there's so much newness and stillness coming to you. So the message here really is to trust yourself, to trust your spirit team, and to allow yourself to really step into that newness. All right, let's pull an advice card, and we're going to move on to any significant omens to watch out for. Alright, the advice card is Mother, Father, God. I love this card. The advice card is Mother, Father, God. And we're going to see a little bit about the book. Yes, definitely. This is just talks about like the acceptance of just trusting the universe, the acceptance of just trusting in yourself and just trusting the oneness that exists. It just feels like a lot of like reparenting as well, Ashe. Yeah, it feels like you're just reparenting yourself and you're giving yourself so much more freedom to just be and love, you know? The extent of this card is one of healing and wholeness. Whatever stories you may have heard about God being judgmental must be washed away now. Divine energy could never hold a grudge against you, for you are an extension of its love. The power and the presence of the Creator is not only with you, but within you. If you have ever felt like you weren't good enough, or that you were being judged, or that you haven't been the best as you can be, know that you are forgiven. Angels are with you to help you create a healing wave between you and your divine parent. This card brings a possibility of parental healing. If you would like to clear up difficult energies between you and your parents or ancestry, know that the angels are ready to help. They are guiding you to see the world through the eyes of Mother, Father, God, and to remember that love can heal everything. Wow. Yeah, definitely going back to what I was saying about like the parentified parent and people pleasing and not having enough space for you, and always creating space for other people. It's almost like the divine is just telling you, like, hey babes, like, it's your time to shine. It's just about you, and I'm here to help. God is here to help. Angels are here to help. Your loved ones that have passed over, whatever you believe in, the love that exists from the different realms, are here to help you, and they love you so very much. And they just want you to see what they see, right? They want you to see how wonderful you truly are, and the many blessings that you can have, on this earth. So I think that is very prominent for this message. Okay, guys, so we're gonna do just 2 cards from the Signs of the Time Oracle, and these can just be things that you might see throughout your day-to-day that will either remind you of this message, or B, confirm that something is going to come through for you. Actually, you know what I love to do? I love to ask a very specific thing and then let Spirit show up to me in the omen. So you can take this time as I shuffle to just think of something that you have a question about, whether you should do it or not, or whether it's of you or not, or whatever. And let's see the omen that we got. Okay, so Spirit, what symbols or signs will my pile 1 see after hearing this message to confirm that it's for them? Thank you, Spirit. Okay. Alright, so the first thing that popped out was the lotus flower, enlightenment. And I feel like that also has a lot to do with what we just talked about with the Mother, Father, God card, and that you are waking up to a new level of spirituality. So, the lotus. If you've never seen a lotus before, you're not quite sure what I'm talking about, that's an example of a lotus. And the next one is for pile number 1, Spirit. What is a moment for them? Thank you, Spirit. The skull. And also, I was just about to say this. I was just about to say the skulls always remind me of Halloween, and Halloween is Scorpio season, and we see the 11 here. Really hope that resonated for you. And please, if you feel like that resonated and you enjoyed this, subscribe to the channel, and we can do more videos like this. I hope you catch my vibe. I hope you have a wonderful day. I love you. Bye. Okay, you guys, welcome. Pile number 2. This is your reading. We are just going to focus on what's coming up for you in the next 6 months. Anything that you need to, know. Anything Spirit wants you to pay attention to. And then at the end, we're going to get into signs that this reading really is for you. And if you see these omens while you're out, it is just your spirit guides confirming that this is for you, right? Okay, so pile 2. Immediately, I was feeling a bit heavy, but like not in heavy in that like I was depressed or anything, but heavy in that like I've been through a lot of crap, for lack of a better word. I've been through some stuff, and I am recovering, I'm rebalancing, I'm recalibrating, and it might even feel like you just got your energy back. So, whatever just happened or whatever you've gone through, I just want to salute you and let you know that you are way more powerful than you think. And if anyone, is around you that may not see you the way that you'd like to be seen, that's okay. Your only job is just to see yourself, to recognize who you are, whose you are, and where you come from and where you're going, It's about you. And I just feel really called to just say that off rip. So if you've been going through some stuff, just know that it's going to get better, and you didn't go through it in vain. There are lessons here, there are blessings here. So just, just keep being who you are, because the divine sees you, God sees you, and, it's way better that they see you than someone who can't see you for you, right? All right, I don't know who that's for, but definitely felt called to say that. So let's just get right into it. Pile number 2. What general messages does pile number 2 need to know for the next 6 months? Next 6 months, what does pile number 2 need to know? Alright, pile number 2. Four of Pentacles, Justice, and Judgment. Yeah. Oh my god, y'all seen them videos? I forget the creator's name, but they like all sit in a circle. It's a bunch of black women, and they're like, Maybe you guys are funny. Maybe you guys are jokesters. You like little silly stuff. Y'all like to hold the laugh in your heart and your belly a little bit longer because it's a little funnier. I'm getting a very loving, kind energy from you and from this. So, also, you might be black. You might be a black woman if you're watching this too. So moving on, or just a woman of color, because there is a woman who looks Asian and another woman who looks Middle Eastern. Or Indian, even could be. Moving on, it says you could be a woman of color, and I think that's kind of profound too. Maybe you've had a very interesting few months, or it really just feels like a few years. It feels like since the pandemic, it's just been like a lot of changes, and maybe you felt a bit powerless, and so maybe that's why. Oh wow, that's confirmation on my phone. Maybe that's why we're holding on to things that may not have much value or significance, but they make you feel right. Like, at least I have control over these little four things, right? At least I have these four little pentacles that I can hold on to no matter what. They keep me safe. I'm also getting some Taurus energy from that too. So maybe we're Taurus here, or you have Taurus in the chart, or pronounced Taurus placements, or maybe even you're holding on literally to a Taurus. So we're gonna move on with that because. And also, I'm saying all this Taurus energy, and then right after you have Justice, which is ruled by Libra. Libra is also Venus energy, so I am very much so getting, maybe you felt disconnected to your femininity. Maybe you were relearning or learning for the first time how to truly connect to your femininity. Meaning like, not feeling the need to be the one to take action initially, not feeling the need to plan everything, not feeling the need to control everything, right? And I feel like maybe that's what's going on here. Maybe we're learning how to release control. Maybe we're learning how, in order to really bring in those new things that we want, right? All those things that we were manifesting pre-pandemic really into fruition. Now that feels like our whole world has been rocked. It could also just really represent you just going within yourself, right? Like, sorry. Sometimes Spirit just speaks and it just like hits me. It feels like, we've been kind of taken off path, and it might feel like you're not doing what you're supposed to do, or you feel like you're so behind because you had all these plans, and then this happened and that happened, and now we're not doing all the things we said we were going to do, and now I'm feeling kind of way about myself. It would explain why you're holding on so tightly to things, because it's like things that I've wanted didn't happen the way that I wanted them to, and so in order to make sure that what I do want to happen, I gotta hold them close. But we're learning in this season, and we're learning throughout the next 6 months, that it's about balance. It's about being able to give some up so you can get some, right? And not give some up like that, but like give some up to the divine. Like, you can't hold everything on your shoulders. I gave this analogy in the other reading about the training wheels, and I feel like that's kind of similar here, but it feels like you already have the training wheels off. It just feels like you're reminiscing on the days when you did have the training wheels. You didn't have to worry about stopping. You didn't have to worry about the brakes so much. You didn't have to worry about falling, It's very much so giving. And maybe the first group and the second group are similar people, just at different timelines. It would make sense for our collective. But it feels like just moving at a pace where it's like, yeah, the training wheels are off, and now what? I have one foot in the spirit world and 1 foot in the physical world. Now what? And Spirit is telling you, now is the play time. Now it's time to play. That's what I'm getting from this. It feels like you're freeing yourself from judgment that you may have held on for a while. It feels like you're now in a position where you're recognizing that all that time that you didn't get what you wanted, or all the time that you didn't create the things that you said you were going to or wanted to create, you're recognizing that it's all perfect timing, right? Like, because in that meantime, what you don't realize is that you've done an extreme amount of spiritual growth. Who you were pre-pandemic and who you are right now are two different people. they're so different that they could look at each other and know, like, oh wow, okay, I see the difference between us. And it's saying that you may not see all that you've learned, right? You may not see all the wisdom that you've gained. You may not see the skills that you've built, because that's really not how, the brain works. The brain works to keep us safe. It doesn't necessarily recall every little thing, right? It doesn't necessarily, and definitely doesn't let us see ourselves from the way that spirit sees us. And sometimes it doesn't let us see ourselves the way that other people are viewing us too. So I am getting an energy of like a lot of self-criticism. And that's keeping you stuck. And self-criticism is what's keeping you stuck, because you're holding on to these 4 little pentacles opposed to giving it up to the universe, and then in the universe bring you 8, 16 more. It's getting out of that control center, right? All right, Spirit, let us talk a little bit more. Advice for this energy, next 6 months. Advice. All right, lots of stuff just fell out. Let's do that one more time. All right, Spirit advice. Wow, that was for you. That was prominent. The Sun card. I love when the Sun comes out. Then we have, wow, the other group had that card come out too. Okay, Spirit, let's talk about it. So I feel like the advice for this energy is to be aware, right? Be aware. And also, yes, like we are holding on to some things, babes. We are choosing not to see some things. And we are choosing happiness, right? I also got a sense of like you're just holding on to the little things that make you happy. And that could be a notion for somebody who has gone through a really hard time, and they're just trying to hold on to the things that make them happy. And I feel like we're no longer in a position where it's like we might be holding on to things, but at least we know who doesn't serve us, right? So I feel like what's coming for you in the next 6 months is the awareness of what you're holding on to and what you need to let go of. Again, I just feel this energy of like someone that's just had to just do everything by themselves. They had to be their own shoulder. They've had to be their own person for their entire life. Like they've never had anybody else kind of like create that loving space for them the way that they do for others. And so it feels like you've been able to do that by preserving the little things, the little joys that feel most prominent to you. I've been saying that word a lot. Moving on. And so I feel like the awareness is coming that like, hey, these little pentacles may not serve me anymore. These little pentacles may not feel as valid as they used to, right? Like also I'm getting like outgrown, because that's what babies do, right? First off, that's a tall ass baby. I mean, those are big kids. And usually that's not different than a baby. So it kind of gives like you're growing up a little bit. You're able to walk, you're able to move, and you're being aware of that. Now with the Justice, we are letting go of doubts. We're letting go of fears. We're letting go of things that kept us stuck. And the Divine is bringing justice to you about that. It's bringing you a position where you can feel a little less stuck, where you can feel a little less burdened by things, where you learn to kind of let go and be free. I also feel like self-talk, right? The way that you view things. You're changing the way of your worldview. You're changing the way that you view yourself or situations. You might even change the way that you feel about contracts, or you might change the way that you feel about anything having to do with anything unjust, or even like politically, like maybe politically you're changing some of your ideas. It would make sense. And then we have the Judgment over here with the 7 of Cups. So we're learning what we're choosing, right? We're learning that we're choosing things. We're learning that the things that we may be choosing are the ideas that our judgment, and making these judgments. I'm having such a hard time talking, but I feel like that's exactly it. Like, it's almost like I'm so flustered because like I have this level of self-acceptance, and now I have to make all these choices out in the world, and it's almost like the world is like just giving you so many different options, so many different avenues that it might feel a bit overwhelming, which is why Spirit is holding on so much of just finding things that make you happy, and choosing little truths that feel the most valid to you. I also want to pull some more cards because this energy kind of feels like the next 6 months you'll just be really focusing on like just getting yourself in check, like just I feel like it's more than just getting yourself in check though. It's like choosing you. It's like choosing a different reality. Okay, thank you, Spirit. I was getting a little confused, lost in sauce. But I feel like that's the energy that you're in. It's like, I don't know if I'm going to go this way or that way. I feel like I've worked so much on myself, and now what? Like, what do I do now? And I feel like Spirit is just showing you, like, right now, your only job is to just trust and allow yourself to just go into things that you like. Right now, your trust is just, right now, what you're supposed to be focusing on, and the advice for the next 6 months is just to choose things that choose you. And sometimes that just might be yourself, because you have to choose you. And I also kind of feel like this energy of like just wanting somebody to be there for you, like just wanting somebody to look out for you. It doesn't give like a desperate energy or like a victimhood energy. It just kind of gives like, I just need a person. And I do feel like the next 6 months, I do feel like there are people or things coming in that are going to help you. Okay, there it is. King, look at that. King of Swords coming here to help you out. The Queen of Wands and the Eight of Cups. So I do feel like it's a very much of an energy of allowing yourself to see what's working for you, look at a higher perspective, let go of what is no longer serving you, because now Spirit is making you aware. Over the next 6 months, Spirit will be making you aware of what is for you and what is not for you. Spirit is asking you to be courageous. Once you find out the truth and you see the truth, stand in it. Be that girl. Be that man. Be that they, them. You know, be that person who stands undoubtedly in their beliefs and in their truth. And then I also feel like here with the Eight of Cups, clarifying the Judgment card and the Seven of Cups, it very much so feels like you're just walking towards just choosing you, choosing things that serve you, choosing things that you want to do. You're no longer clouded by other people's judgment. I also feel from the last 6 months, I feel like you've just done a lot of work in just recognizing what are my things that I want and what are things that other people want for me. And I feel like that's really powerful, because I don't think you've ever had the space or time to do that before. And similarly, I don't know if you can see, but in the back of this card, she's walking towards the sun. She's walking towards the truth, the enlightenment that's coming forward. And we see that over here with you letting go of anything that no longer serves you as you decide what serves you and what doesn't. I do feel, though, the biggest lesson here is that Spirit just wants you to choose and be mindful of your energy, and that you're no longer giving your energy out freely, and you're charging your worth. That could be another thing, though, too. Maybe you guys aren't charging as much as you should if you're an entrepreneur. Or maybe you've never negotiated for your salary before, and that's something that you may need to look into. Because you are powerful and you are worth it. And I feel like that's a really big theme in this reading, is that you are worth it. And the only person that doesn't see that right now is you. But you will in the next 6 months. You're going to be very aware of your power in the next 6 months. Okay, let's go for some guidance. All right, we've got vulnerability and freedom. You cannot make this up. You cannot make this up. It's like, what you don't see is that all this work that you've been putting in on yourself and creating your new self-concept and creating who you are and loving who you are and accepting who you are, it's allowed so much vulnerability to just pour into your level of authenticity is one of the highest vibrations. And that's exactly where you are. And I think that's also why I was getting a little tongue-tied and stuck when I was looking at the Seven of Cups, because it's like you just see so many different avenues for yourself. You see so many different parts of you, and you accept all of them. And you've never had that liberty before to just look at yourself in different aspects. Maybe you were always looking at yourself in the way that your parents would approve of, or your siblings, your family, or just people around you, your friends. Like, you were always bombarded with their thoughts and emotions. And I also do feel like you guys are pretty psychic. Like, maybe somebody might not say anything, but like telepathically you're picking up on it, or you might have a dream, or just intuitively you just kind of know things. And so you've always just been like an observer, but Spirit is asking you to be more vulnerable in who you are and what you want. And we're going to read about this card, but I just really am getting a lot of that, just freedom. Over the next 6 months, you're going to be experiencing a lot of freedom. And it's not going to feel like how you think. It's not going to feel like how you think. It's going to be better. Yeah. All right, let's get into it. Vulnerability and freedom. It isn't always easy to put yourself out there, but you are being encouraged to do so now. Drop the shields and barriers that you have put up, because the walls are preventing you from seeing you. The walls are preventing the world from seeing your lights. Wow. We talked about that with the holding on to old things, and also the seeing the light at the end. Your angel guide is reminding you that you don't need to protect yourself, because God can do that for you. Surrender, Ashe. Whenever you feel vulnerable and unsafe, old habits and pattern will want to kick in. The light of God but call in the light of God and surrender your need to protect yourself. When you give angels permission to come in and help you, they will. They will guide you towards freedom, joy, and your highest good, Ashe. So definitely, I think that is more prominent. That's a more prominent message for you right now, because I was picking up like just having a lot of hardship and having to work through things by yourself. And I do feel like you're very stable right now. I feel like you've done a really, really good job of getting yourself into a very balanced place. But I do feel like if you've been holding like the weight of the world on your shoulders, and I feel like that message is very clear that you can call in your guides and you have people on the other side. You have entities and beings that just love you so much, and they want you to see how great you are, so other people can see it too. And also, I just want to say, like, putting yourself out there kind of just helps other people understand their power and who they are. And this is just your message from Spirit to remind you of that you are that girl, that guy, that they, them. Like, you are that person. You are that one. And nothing is going to knock you down. All you have to do is just focus in on you, hone in on you, love on you. And everything will flow like water. Alright, part two, real quick before my camera dies. What are some signs and omens that this is the message for this collective? What are some signs and omens? Immediately the evil eye came out, and also a laptop. So maybe you're working on something. Ooh, let's pull one more. Oh, there it is. Thank you. So we got evil eye. So the evil eye symbol. Also, that looks like a MacBook laptop. So that might be significant for you. Maybe you're working on something online and you're like, oh wow, I remember that message that Speaking Intuitively said. Whatever. And we have peace, harmony. Ooh, I love that so much, because I feel like that's what you're walking into. You're walking into peace and harmony. You're walking into that love. Yes. So that's what I've got for you, group 2. I really hope that resonated. Also, the bottom of the deck of this deck is unlimited potential, and I feel like that's you, group 2. That's you. You have unlimited potential. You can do everything, anything. You are so gifted, you are so talented, and you are so strong, and that's why you've gone through what you've gone through. It's not because anyone forgot about you. It's not because no one loves you. It's because Spirit knows how strong you are, and they just needed to toughen you up so that you can handle this amazing, these huge blessings that are coming your way. And I just really feel that. So for the next 6 months, keep your eye out for evil eye and peace. Also, I do feel like an omen, like there's an omen of like you might feel somebody evil eyeing you, but it's kind of this confirmation that you're doing what you're supposed to do, right? Like your light might trigger somebody's shadow, and that's confirmation within itself that you are doing what you're supposed to do. Okay, thank you so much, group 2. I love you guys so much, and I really hope this resonated. Please like, comment, subscribe for more messages like this, and let me know if it resonates. Like, hit me up in the comments. I'm a yapper, so let's yap about it. All right, love you. Bye.